Hi guys, we finally have an official date for episode 30, which is the Earth 3 episode. The official date will be November 15th, 2017. We've known for quite a bit that it would actually feature the Crime Syndicate of America, an evil version of the Justice League of America. People have been wondering which version of the Crime Syndicate will it feature. Some thought it could be the original version, which was very unlikely. Others thought it might be the Grant Morrison version, Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley version. But now we have an answer. It is the new 52 version that we saw not that long ago in the pages of various DC comics. But mainly they were part of the Forever Evil Justice League miniseries or crossover. I'm not sure how to properly formulate that. So again, Earth 3 is the upcoming episode, which will launch on November 15th, 2017. Again, this will introduce the Crime Syndicate of Earth 3, an evil version of the Justice League, and it will reunite the full cast of Justice League for a set epic new adventure set on our Earth and theirs. Before we talk about the episode's story and content itself, we want to take a moment to talk about its development and structure. With this episode, we are taking the fundamentals you've seen in episodes past and raised the bar. Put simply, episode 30 is both an episode and a major event. Keep reading for all the details. TLDR, Earth 3 is set on an alternate universe version of Earth where good is evil and evil is good, and features the Crime Syndicate, including Ultraman, Owlman, Superwoman, and more. Earth 3's content structure combined the best qualities of episodes, permanent and challenging content for endgame players, with the best qualities of events, level agnostics, and limited access for all players. Earth 3's reward combined the best qualities of episode, permanent endgame progression, with the best qualities of events, limited time, level agnostic progressions. Earth 3 launches for all players November 15th, 2017. Earth 3 structure. Hello DCUO, episode 30 Earth 3 is a very special episode for the team here. Nerd of Prey will get you to the story and content of the episode in a moment, but first we need to talk about what's changed overall in this episode structure and development process. We're raising the bar for episodes here with a better targeted approach to creating content. We have enormous diversity in our player base, players of all type with all sorts of expectations. And in episode 30, we wanted to have more freedom to design content, specifically for more of these different kinds of players. What does that mean? Earth 3 will have 3 different types of versions of content. You're used to seeing 2 versions, normal and elite. Additionally, this episode will also have an easier stat clamped version of all instances. The stat clamped version, essentially a Starro-sized major event, will launch alongside and in addition to the full episode for all players over level 10 and will remain until episode 31 launches next year. So roughly what this says is that at level 10, as soon as you have a character that reaches level 10, you will gain access to some of the content, and it will remain so until the next episode, episode 31. In previous event, that used to last about a month, but now it seems they're trying to stretch that from episode to episode. So again, to recap, we'll have event content, easier stat clap content that is accessible and available to all players level 10 or more, and game content, regularly challenging content that is available to players CR 207 and more. Elite content, highly challenging content that is intended for elite player CR 207 and more. For example, here's what that looks like for Earth 3. There's going to be an open world map, version A, event content, stat clamped for everyone. There's going to be a duo and alerts. There's going to be a version A, event content, stat clamp for everyone, and a version B, endgame content for player 207 and more. And there's going to be a raid, version A, event content, stat clamp for everyone, version B, endgame content for players 207 and more, version C, elite content for players combat rating 207 and more. By creating 3 versions of content instead of 2, we're able to focus more specifically on the experience our different group of player desire. The stat clamp content is highly accessible and of course open to players of any level. So it is a light, easygoing experience. The regular endgame content version is more challenging, but still accessible to the majority of players. Because we have these two easier options, this really freed us to ratchet up the difficulty of the Elite version, where we have focused our efforts on creating a challenge through skill-based mechanics that have clear messaging, involve the whole group, and are absolutely devastating when failed. Elite players will be required to perform at the peak of possibility and work together to find victory. The team has really embraced this freedom and enjoyed designing to this new challenge, so we can't wait to see you tackle it head on. Earth 3 rewards. Earth 3 has different versions of content at different level of challenge, designed for different segments of the community. So it only follows that the different versions of content will reward players differently to match. We want every player to find meaningful rewards in the version of content that they decide is right for them. First, a few basics to get out of the way. Each version of the content will share loot locks. This means that you can choose which version interests you, but that you are not forced to run every version to maximize your rewards. The concept of Elite Progress Point has been discontinued. You're welcome. So basically, you're going to be able to choose the difficulty you want, still get reward for it. And I guess people didn't like too much the way they had integrated Elite content into the game for a while. Basically, for a while, you had to gather Elite Renown in order to be able to purchase the Elite reward. I guess they gave up on that. Okay, with that out of the way, here is the overall reward plans for the different types of content. Event content rewards, stat clamped for everyone, rewards the standard amount of Ultra Bucks. I guess Ultra Bucks will be the new currency in this episode. Open World rewards OP item collections, but instances do not. Feat required. I guess it's going to work like the previous episode. The previous episode, you had to either complete the Batman Beyond set of gear or the Riddler set of gear in order to be able to get the OP collections. So I assume you will have to complete one of the sets that will be included in the DLC, or the set that will be included in the upcoming time capsule. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see for that. Has scaling gear drops that scale up to entry level of episode 30. Basically scaling gear like we've had for a while, gear that scales to your level or your combat rating. Has feats. Has an event gear set on the episode vendor that automatically scales to your level up to entry level episode 30. Has a new style, Johnny Quick. Has a style feat, is the cheapest suit, and when this suit has been completed, subsequent gear purchases of this suit are cheaper. So basically, once you complete the Johnny Quick set of gear, if you need to purchase the Johnny Quick set of gear, let's say for your alternate role, let's assume you're playing as a healer and then you want to get the Johnny Quick DPS gear, that gear should be cheaper for you to purchase. Also, with this mechanic, once you complete a set of gear, from what I understand, you're supposed to be able to purchase it with your alternate characters at a lower price. I have to admit, I haven't tried it with any of my characters just yet, so I don't really know exactly how that works. Endgame content rewards for player CR 207 and more. Rewards the standard amount of Ultra Bucks, can drop OP item collections, but still, as you can see, you require the feat. As standard scaling gear drops, has more feats, has an endgame gear set on the episode vendor that is the best gear on the vendor, has a new style, the Owlman style. So people have been asking if we were going to get the Owlman style in this DLC. Here's your answer. The answer is yes. As a style feat, is the standard price suit. When this suit has been completed, subsequent gear purchases of this suit and the event suit are cheaper. So once you complete the Owlman set of gear, whenever you purchase it again, it should be cheaper. And there's the Elite content rewards for Elite players CR 207 and more. Rewards more Ultra Buck currency plus Elite Renown. That is strange. I guess they still have Elite Renown for some reason. Anyway, increases the chance to drop OP item collections. Again, it requires the feat. As standard scaling gear drops. As even more feats and special headlines. As an Elite gear set on the episode vendor that requires Renown. Okay, so that's what the renown is for, and they still require a renown for the elite gear. It is actually the best gear on vendor, plus 2 item level from endgame gear. As an enhanced style of the endgame suit, this is the enhanced Allman version. As a style feat and title, is the most expensive suit, and when this suit has been completed, subsequent gear purchase of this suit and the endgame suit and the event suit are cheaper. So once you purchase this set of gear, every other set of gear should be cheaper. In the DLC, of course. This should be interesting. Members and owner rewards. But wait, there's more. In every piece of content, the last boss will reward a special box just for members and purchasers of the episode. The box can contain enhanced version of the event gear style, so the enhanced Johnny Quick, bonus OP collection items, or unique base items. So basically, if you're a subscriber or if you did purchase the episode, you will get extra rewards from the last bosses of each missions. We expect the player or alt who is not yet at endgame to enjoy the easy event content, the endgame player to enjoy the accessible endgame content as usual, and the elite player to rise to the challenge of the elite raids to get that improved elite gear. All while the increasing currency rewards and extended vendor discount keeps everything within reach. That's a wrap on what is changing in the structure and reward for this episode. But what content, characters, and story are actually in episode 30? You guys understand I'm just reading you the actual email. I'm not involved in DC Universe Online, and I'm certainly not a creative director SJ Nerd of Bray Mueller. Okay, Earth 3 content, characters, and story. You guys, Earth 3 is a big deal. It is the Justice League versus the Crime Syndicate. Finally, what an epic story to tell, and what an incredible time to be a Justice League fan. The team couldn't be more excited to release this episode. But here's the big news. This is the first time we've reunited the Trinity in all new storyline since the launch of the game. That's right, all 3 of the Justice League's heavy hitter and DCUO's mentors return in Earth 3 to take on their evil counterparts in the Crime Syndicate. You're reading this right. Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are all back. And that's not all. They are joined by other key members like Cyborg, Flash, even Lex Luthor is along for this ride. It's going to take all of them and a whole lot more to take down the Crime Syndicate. Let's start with The Visitor, a 2-player operation. The story begins in The Visitor, an epic 2-player operation that reveals our first doppelganger from Earth 3, Alexander Luthor. At great risk, he has traveled to our world to request help against the Crime Syndicate, a council of evil super beings that use their great strength to rule his world. He means well, but the Justice League is a bit uneasy trusting anyone with Lex Luthor's face. I can't say I blame them. There are 2 versions of this operations: Event, Stat Clamped, and Endgame. Then there's Gotham City, Tri-Corner Yards, open world missions. At the end of The Visitor, the Justice League, Lex Luthor, and heroes and villains alike have traveled to Earth 3 to help. Or in Lex's case, to explore this alluring world where evil can win. The snowy city is bleak and run by a corrupt mayor by the name of James Gordon. When you arrive, you will see that the Justice League has set up a hidden base beneath a bridge in the city. They need your help to get the lay of the land and find out more about this world and about the evil oppressors. Lex Luthor is along for the ride, but instructs villain to share any and all information with him because he has an idea. And Batman has tasked you and your friends to find a way to bring down Mayor Gordon. There's 1 version of this mission, and it is Stat Clamped. And there is the Panopticon, that is the raid version. It's an 8-player mission, obviously. Surprising no one, Lex has an ulterior motive in all this, and has struck out on his own. He is determined to take down the Crime Syndicate himself, starting with Ultraman. Unfortunately for him, he is captured before he can find his quarry. You must join Alexander and the rest of the Justice League to mount a dangerous rescue inside the Panopticon, the Crime Syndicate's twisted version of the Watchtower. Lucky for you, Cyborg has found a way in. There are 3 versions of this raid: Event Stat Clamped, Endgame, and Elite. Then there is the Escape 8-player raid. The Crime Syndicate has uncovered a way to tear open a massive hole in time and space, one large enough to drive the entire Panopticon through, and that is their plan, to drive it right into our own Earth's orbit. The entire team must assemble to take on the Crime Syndicate in an epically ridiculous battle of the bests between these two worlds. Again, there are 3 versions of this raid: Event Stat Clamped, Endgame, and Elite. And all this was brought to you by S.J. Nerd of Prey Mueller, the creative director of This Universe Online. Again, you guys understand that I'm not Nerd of Prey and I have nothing to do with This Universe Online. I'm just reading you the email. And there will be a live stream November 3rd, 2017. So you want to see more? Tune in today at 2 p.m. Pacific time for a live stream preview. We'll take a closer look at the new environment, characters, and rewards, recap the episode structural additions, and take your questions. So again, the live stream begins at 2 p.m. Pacific time on Friday, November 3rd, 2017. Obviously, it is on Twitch. Whenever there's a DCUO live stream, it happens on Twitch first, and then usually the replay is added to YouTube afterwards. So at 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is about, I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we should get a preview of the next episode. And I guess if you guys have any questions, you're going to be able to ask them during the live stream. And if you somehow miss the live stream, once the live stream is over, usually they then post the live stream or the replay of the live stream on their YouTube channel. So there you have it, guys. The next episode is in a little less than 2 weeks away. It will feature the evil Crime Syndicate of America. And now we know that there's going to be an Owlman style and a Johnny Quick style. And I strongly suspect that there's going to be a new time capsule more or less around the same time. And I suspect there's going to be a new style also in that time capsule. They didn't say anything about the time capsule, but I strongly suspect that there's going to be either an Ultraman emblem, an Owlman emblem, and a Superwoman emblem, and most likely a Power Ring and Johnny Quick as well. I guess we're going to have to wait and see for that. So there was a lot to cover, so that was a long one. And if you want to know even more, don't forget to tune in to the DCUO official live stream later today. And I guess that's pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.